are those documents prepared by the head office of DPWH or the regional office?
The implementing unit, okay. Kasi ano po, as far as DPWH, decentralized po kasi ito. So sila po yung magsa-certify. Okay. Okay. So, implementing units po. Para making sure that yung project po ay ano siya, hindi siya ghost at yun, those are the ano na nga yung ginamit namin po ngayon to make sure are valid legal obligation covering structure project implemented consistent with the approved plans, specification and standards in accordance with budgeting, procurement, accounting rules and regulations po. So those are some of the initiatives as right now that we are doing. So para maiwasan na po natin yung ghost na po na binabayaran na hindi naman pala na-implement.
So these are initiatives moving forward, Secretary. In the past, these are not in place.
Yes. Although syempre po in the past, wala pong undertaking sa ginawa. Hindi siya notarized, but mayroon naman tayong certification ng kanilang LDDAP, yung list of due and demandable accounts payable certified by agency, accountants, head of the agency. Okay. That they are valid.
So just wanted to confirm, the release po of the funds will be to the implementing agency, which, yeah, okay, not the head office of DPWH. Is there not a central account, ma'am?
If I may, Madam Commissioner, the notice of cash allocation is released to the implementing unit. When we say implementing unit, it's that unit which directly receives which maintains an MDS account, yung parang savings account natin in the bank. So these units have capable financial units. So, doon po talaga, like for example, sa DPWH, the lowest na implementing unit are the DEOs, the District Engineering Office. So, meron pong derecho na nare-release sa kanila ng mga notice of cash allocation. So, nakikredit doon sa kanilang MDS account. Yan.
But Central does not have any visibility over this, so they don't know what has already been transferred to the implementing agencies?
Depending on what account it is or what claims those are. Because if it's the regular operating requirements of the DEOs, that goes directly to the DEOs. Yung pong nire-release namin na NCA, diretso po yung nakikredit sa MDS account nila. But as far as accounts payable, it can be prior year's accounts payable or current accounts payable which are not included in the regular operating requirements. Yun po, the DPWH adopted a centralized MDP system, meaning binubuo nila, kinoconsolidate nila yung request nila for accounts payable. It starts from the DEOs, yung listahan, the LDDAP that we were saying. It goes up to the region and then the region goes to the central office. Kinoconsolidate po yun, sinasubmit sa DBM. So what we get to see is the consolidated requirement ng accounts payable. So they do a different thing pagdating ng accounts payable. Kasi,
So what would be an accounts payable other than the payment to the contractors and operating expenses?
yes, accounts payable are those which are subjected to progress billings. Hiwalay po yung kanilang statement of account. Usually, hindi na isasabay kaagad yung bayad sa kanila. So, these accounts payable gets to be consolidated dun po sa taas, sa central
Central.
office. Yes, ma'am. And then, the central office, when we release it, so sa central office din po namin nire-release, it's just that, si central office po, meron naman siyang ina-attach. Yung LDDAP naman po niya, ang kanyang disaggregation are the different regional offices, district engineering offices.
Otherwise, you credit directly to the implementing agencies. So what I'm seeing is that the finance person in that implementing office would be responsible for really making sure that any disbursement is supported properly.
Yes. Yes, Madam Commissioner.
And the finance people in the head office do not have visibility over that or no oversight, no monitoring.
Our presumption is that they were able to see the attachments because the DAOs also submits the different listing. So may listahan din pong nanggagaling sa DEOs ng kanyang mga creditors na babayaran. Meron din po siyang LDDAP. Yun yung sinasubmit niya, paakyat ng region, then region to the central office. So we would presume na, usually po kasi mga voluminous yung papel, but our presumption is that when the central office consolidates this, we are of the presumption na nakita po niya yung mga documents, yung mga attachments.
So if there is there anybody in the DPWH, for example, who is responsible and who we can ask, how did you spend the money or how did you disburse the money? Is that the finance person in the head office? Or we would have to go to all the DE district offices?
The process that we have now is that from the LDTAP consolidated by the central office, so naka-regional office yun, o kaya DEO, automatic po, naka-ADA po kasi yon, meaning automatic advice to debit account.
yes.
So automatically, once it gets into the MDS account of the central office, makre-credit na rin po yan because there's the lower portion of our LDDAP form, nandun po yung advice to debit account.
Okay. So
Madidebit na po siya sa account ng regional o kaya yung
right.
DEOs.
So the central finance person,
Hindi niya mahawakan.
hindi niya mahawakan, but he or she has oversight.
Makikita po niya.
Makikita niya and he or she can question
Yes.
how that's being disbursed.
Yes.
In relation to that, who signs the affidavit or sworn statement that is required? Is it the
Implementing
district
unit.
engineer, finance head? Sino ba yung pwedeng ikulong dyan?
The sworn statement or the undertaking is signed by the implementing unit agency.
Yeah, but-
Pero yung LDDAP is signed, of course, even at the level of
Is it the district
accountant.
engineer or the accountant, finance? Sino ba ang rin-require yung pumirma niyan?
Yeah. The LDDAP is signed by the accounting unit and head, at the same time approved by the head of the agency. But as to the undertaking, it's the head of the agency or the implementing unit or the
So
district,
district engineer
Yes.
or regional director as
Yes.
the case may be.
Yes, sir.
Para maliwanag,
Yes.
we don't say na hindi niya alam, basta pumirma lang siya. He has
Yes.
a responsibility.
Yes.
Good afternoon, sir. Secretary Rolando Toledo. You were here last time. When was this? The last hearing, you were here,
Yes, that was October 14,
October 14.
Commissioner, Chair.
And you were with Secretary Amina Pangandaman.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Did she tell you why she resigned?
No, actually, we were in the Senate then for our hearing. I was just told that I'll be the one he submitted my name to be an OIC that time. So I was surprised, really. Actually, I mean, trembled when nalaman ko po yun. So it was really a surprise on my part, Mr. Chair.
So you never got to talk to her after that?
Ano pa rin ho naman, kasi we've been in transition po. So, nagkakausap po kami after that. Siguro a week or 2 weeks after, yun na lang po.
So, but you never got to know the reason why she resigned from the DBM?
Because it was announced, Mr. Chair, by the spokesperson, Yusek Claire, that she has resigned. The reason is for delicadeza.
But do you have any idea why she resigned?
No, Mr. Chair.
None.
Dan po, talaga. At surprise kasi talaga rin naman ako po eh. Yeah, all of us, actually.
Yes. How long have you been with the DBM?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I've been with the DBM for 38 years. I started as an analyst in 1987. To be exact, May 27, 1987.
This office was created September 12 or 11, and we took our oath September 15. On September 19, we asked Senator Soto to come here to enlighten us on the budget process. So we wrote 4 letters after that. One is dated September 29. First, we said that all deliberations must be documented, proceedings must be officially transcribed and recorded. Then we also said that all insertions must be with complete documentation. Then third, we said that there must be established to prevent conflicts of interest. Then fourth, we said an insertion must have a transparent audit trail. And then on October 6, we wrote a letter to Speaker Faustino D, asking that the copy of the HOR NEP, then the version of the HOR NEP, and the hearings, bicameral hearings, and the list of proponents. Then we wrote another letter to Senator Soto asking for the NEP from 2015 to 2025, including insertions, etc. And the same letter to Speaker D. Would you feel that they have already being implemented now? The live streaming of the BICAM and the budget process and the recording.
Yes, Mr. Chair. As I mentioned earlier, even the BARC, as mentioned by Congressman Swansing, who is the chair of the Committee on Appropriation, made sure that it's live, it's streamed, and everybody, especially our citizens, can observe and watch the live stream.
Also in the BICAM.
Yes, right now, Mr. Chair, yes.
What about the insertions? Are they in writing already?
As we are seeing in the BICAM right now, Mr. Chair, is being manifested already by the chair of as far as the Congress side is concerned. Then I think that is right now being kumbaga, kaya po minamanifesto para makita naman po yung adjustment na gusto naman mangyari ng Senado. So yun po yun. So there's really a discussion as far as that manifestation.
But the insertion, is that accompanied by any project paper, project thesis, project description, amount involved? There's no such explanation. Just an item that allotting a certain amount for a certain project. With
Yes.
no description.
Yeah, ang nakikita po namin, Mr. Chair, is yung under, for example, yung nakaraang budget BICAM po nung Saturday, nakita namin po yung specific programs and projects that is being adjusted by Congress and ano yung masasabi naman ng Senado if that should be adopted or not. As you can see po doon sa screen, mayroon doong HGAP portion kung ano yung amount, and then doon sa susunod sa screen na nila is the approved BICAM amount. So, ganun po yung nangyayari.
So you are present during these hearings.
No, sir. We are not attending the BICAM, but we're monitoring live on this sa ano lang, television lang.
If you find something wrong, do you manifest to the Speaker or to the Senate President? You find something you find wrong with the amount or with the project?
No, Mr. Chair, because we are not there to participate. So hindi kami po mamanifest whatsoever.
Not even a letter after the hearing, the next day, you don't write a letter to them saying that this is something apparently is wrong here, there's a misappropriation of money. You don't do that.
We don't do that, Mr. Chair. As mentioned, kasi I think we believe that that is a legislative process, okay? A reconciliation between the Congress and the Senate. So, yun po, hindi kami po nag-participate doon.
Yes, but your office is Department of Budget and Management.
Yes, sir.
You're supposed to manage the funds, is that correct? Or you're supposed to manage the government? How do I get your what you feel about management? Is that the government or just the funds?
Okay. Well, you're right, Mr. Chair, that we are the Department of Budget and Management, so we have to look into the B, at the same time the M part, which is the budget. That is what we are going to do. We've been doing, which is the preparation of the budget and the execution. Okay. Last, sa budget preparation, yes, we are on top of that, as I earlier mentioned. Kami po yung top of that in the preparation. But we know that we have a separate body that looks into authorization, which is the Congress, both houses, the House of Representatives and the Senate. So we leave it to them, okay, as to what should transpire between the discussion at the GOV, the final GOV, and the discussion at the Senate, and this time po to reconcile that differences through the BICAM. So as far as that is concerned, Mr. Chair, since that is a legislative process, hindi po kami nakikialam doon. That is what with the separation between the executive
My question
and
is management.
What?
You get the funds and you're supposed to manage the funds. Isn't that correct?
Yes, Mr.
So you should be monitoring the flood control projects because you're part of management. I think that's
Yeah.
what you should really do, you know. So what would you say about these flood control projects? Were you able to manage it or monitor it?
Yeah. Mr. Chair, as far as the flood control control is concerned, so kami po on the part of the BBM, we rely on the submission of the reports that has been provided to us, okay, based on the based on their special budget request. Because for every special budget request, may naka-attach pong mga documentations, and that is also what we require. And based on those requirements, we saw that it's valid po siya, it's signed, and it's been endorsed to us. So, ano po siya, we saw it, that is valid, so that's why na-release po namin siya.
So that is a table management, table-to-table management.
Yes,
Whether I get it correctly, it's a table management of the documents regarding management of the project.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Because, as you can see, supposed to be, the implementing agencies are responsible in terms of the validation of their projects that are already done or finished. Yeah.
Is the DBM controlled by... Yes, you have. Hi.
Go ahead, sir.
Is the DBM controlled by the secretary only or or she doesn't control the DBM, the secretary?
Well, overseeing is the term, I guess the term, but in terms of control, Mr. Chair, kasi we have, for every department, there is an analyst that is evaluating the project, the request as far as the agency, the coverage, may specific coverage po yan. And there's another, aside from the analyst, mayroon pong directors concerned po nung may hawak po ng ahensyang yan. Or for example, DPWA is handled by our bureau under our Bureau A, who handles the economic sector. So ganun po siya.
Yes, I remember there was departments for
Oh, yeah.
judiciary and DPW. So is the person in charge of DPWH here present right now?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Where
I
is
think
she?
our Undersecretary would like to also supply some information, Mr. Chair, if you
Yes,
can
yes, please,
recognize.
please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. As to the power of control, just on the legal terms po, yes, the Secretary controls every personnel within the department, being the head of the office. However, as mentioned by Secretary Toledo, all of the transactions are processed through channels within the DBM. So they start from our, and for example, in the case of budgeting, from the analyst level up to the levels of the chiefs as well as the assistant director and then the director. Thank you, Mr. Chairperson.
Actually, I knew the answer, but when it comes to unprogrammed budget, who is in charge of the unprogrammed budget? The secretary or somebody else?
We have an administrator, Mr. Chairperson. Yun po yung sila yung nag-a-account. But whatever the charges are for the unprogrammed appropriations will depend on the request and the agency requesting. So for example, po meron po for infrastructure, that would be DPWH. And then the bureau in charge of the DPWH would process. And then aakyat po siya through channels. And once approved, yun po yung nare-report na charge against the unprogrammed account na minamanage ng isang...
So is the person in charge of the unprogrammed budget or allocation present now?
BTV ba yun? BTV.
The BP.
Yes, Mr. Chair. First, we would just like to clarify also that the unprogrammed appropriation is just like any other special purpose fund. It's treated as a special purpose fund because various agencies can access it, can charge against it, depending on the availability of the excess revenue. So if we are looking at requests from DPWH, like for example, additional request, which can be charged against the unprogrammed appropriation, then that special budget request would be done by our Bureau A, Budget and Management Bureau A, which is in charge of DPWH.
So there's no department for unprogrammed. I
None.
thought she said there is.
As I have said, sir, Mr. Chairperson, it would depend on the nature. As also mentioned by ASEC Rhea. So, for example, po sa DPWH, you have the Bureau A, as mentioned. We have the director here. Sila po yung nagpro-process ng request up to approval. But once approved, meron pong isang bureau, which is the Budget Technical Bureau. Siya lang po yung nag-a-accounting. So, the processing po, evaluation as to the merits would come from the Bureau A po in charge of
So if there is
EP.
a program project in the budget, who initiates the paperwork?
It would be the requesting agency,
That
Mr.
is the
Chairperson.
DPWH.
Opo.
And
For-
where would it go to
They will,
your office? Who is in charge in your office?
that will be submitted to the DBM. Meron po kaming a central receiving system.
Yes.
So, doon po siya napapasok, nare-record siya, and then it would go directly to the bureau in charge. So, if the requesting agency is DPWH, it goes to Bureau A. If it's DSWD, kasi meron din pong social
so there is a
programs,
person
Bureau B.
in the DPWH bureau that you have who's in charge of the program.
That one I cannot answer. Sa
Administrator.
kanila na lang, sorry Mr. Chair, sa operations na lang po. Very detailed na po.
As earlier said, Mr. Chair, we have various units, bureaus, divisions, which are in charge of specific
No, my question
departments.
is who acts on that letter for request for program funds?
It would be the Budget and Management Bureau A, which
So
handles
who is that person in charge of that?
the head of BMBA is Director Marie Sunga.
Is she here right now? So she took a part in the program projects of last year.
She took part in evaluating the requests coming from the DPWH.
So what do you mean by evaluating? She processes them or approves them or?
She reviews the action done by the analysts, which goes up to the assistant division chief, and then to the division chief, and from there it goes to the assistant director, then eventually to Director Marisunga.
So there are a lot of processes for the program. Because there are program
Not only for
projects that were part of last year's budget or this year's budget.
Yes, not only for, it's true for all requests, special budget requests coming from different agencies.
Would you know, ma'am, how much funds were used for program projects this year, 2026?
2026.
2025, I mean.
2025, for 2025, we are limited by the excess revenue, which has been certified by the BTR. So as of now, I guess our release is around, if I may, Mr. Chair, the administrator of the unprogrammed appropriation is our Budget Technical Bureau, and they would have the number, exact number. Here. I think that's the balance of the release. As of December 14, 2025, the charges against the unprogrammed appropriation amounts to 75.2 billion. Yes. So we were able to release that. So it went to various agencies. A number of it went to the SWD. For DepEd, also for the Department of Agriculture, the Department of Health for their health emergency benefits and allowances. We also have releases for DOTR. And a number of it is the requirement for the personal services because we actually are already deficient as far as personal services is concerned. So may charges din po doon.
There's a testimony by Roberto Bernardo that there are program funds which were funded by your office, amounting to $2.8 billion pesos. Do you know of this affidavit? What about your legal department? Do they know of this affidavit? program and was released.
Just came to know about the affidavit, Mr. Chair, when Yusek Bernardo recited it in the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee. Some of us were there, some of us were monitoring.
So can you
online.
be able to state to us with clarity if that is a correct assertion by Mr. Bernardo?
I think po our budget preparation and execution group would be the best people to answer, Mr. Chairperson.
We wouldn't know actually, Mr. Chair, which projects are this 2.8, but certainly the releases made, which were charged against the unprogrammed appropriation for DPWH, amounts to more than that. But as far as which are those and which is that 2.8.
But you said a while ago that there's a process.
Yes,
So
Mr.
you
Chair.
should be able to identify the amount because you said there's a process one after the other until the last signatory. So you should be able to give us the documents on those.
What we can give you, Mr. Chair, are all the release documents which were processed and actually released in 2024.
Mr. Chair, I think so we don't beat around the bush. I think this is in particular the request of DepEd Yusek Olayban.
Probably we can just provide you with the details if ever we can find in our files as to how much the 2.8. So we have actually the listing naman po ng the release of our SARO, Special Allotment Release Order.
These questions are not against any of you. We're looking to the process.
Yeah.
How come all this happened? And how come this scandal came about? And how come, despite you being budget and management, how come this huge amount of money was lost? To flood control. So we're really looking to
Yes.
that. Nothing personal on our
Yeah.
part, but we want to know who are the people responsible. If there's something wrong with your process, we want to know that because sayang yung pera ng tao eh. That can only be dismissed by a question.
Yes.
It should really be answered with frankness and sincerity. And I hope you can give us the answers.
Okay.
So how come ang program nagkaroon ng pera? From what I know, ang program funds can only be released if there is a certificate from the Bureau of Treasury. Meron ba ditong certificate of the Bureau of Treasury?
But Mr. Chair, we can assure you that all the releases from the unprogrammed fund are supported by certification from the Bureau of the Treasury that there were excess revenue. There were really an excess revenue certified by the Bureau of the Treasury because that's the way to unlock the unprogrammed appropriations, Mr. Chair. We cannot release any SARO chargeable against the unprogrammed fund if we don't have the excess revenue certified by the Bureau of the Treasury.
In the year that there was unprogrammed funds, you also cut to zero the ODA funds. Is the ODA funds a source of revenue? Because that's what we've been hearing.
Mr. Chair, what happened then is, although as far as the NEP is concerned, nakapropose po yung ODA. It's just a matter of sa legislature na po, kinat po nila yon, tsaka nilagay nila sa unprogrammed appropriations. So that's what happened po. Kaya po kami on our part, since that is by loan agreement na po that we have to honor, we have to release that also from the unprogrammed appropriations. At the same time, para hindi ho rin ma-delay yung ating implementation ng projects that is supported by loan agreement.
I think there's a mistake on your part because Mr. Sadain of DPWH testified that they never got the money and it was to the prejudice of the government. When that was ODA was not released at all. So no money was ever put back into the ODA. as per the testimony of Mr. Sadain.
Kasi ganito po, well, ang nangyari po kasi dyan, because when we release that ODA from the unprogrammed appropriations po, mayroon po siyang, yeah, delay lang, I don't know specifically, Mr. Chair, what project is that, but in general po, we release the, from the unprogrammed fund for the GOP counterpart because kailangan po kasi yan ng certification also again from the Bureau of the Treasury. Kung wala po yun, hindi po natin marirelease yun.
So you're saying us, you're telling us that the ODA, while was zero in the budget, after 1 year, it was given back.
Well, normally, Mr. Chair, ano yan may sinusunod po kami i-provide po yung allocation by year based on the project profile of the agency as far as the ODA, kung kailan nila po dapat magastos yung project at kung kailan ma-implement yung project. So there's really a multi-year provision po dyan. So sinusunod namin, kaya lang ang nangyari po, kinat nga po sa Kongreso, transfer nila sa program pa. Kaya hindi siya naponduhan on the regular basis. So ganun po siya.
Now, as part of being the management company of the Philippines, you did not complain about this removal of the ODA funds.
Actually, Mr. Chair, that is, we actually, even sa Congress, as much as possible, sinasabi na namin dapat i-honor po yung ating loan. Kasi po yan may obligation po tayo. Kasi one thing more, Mr. Chair, kung hindi natin po yung gamitin, on our part, nagbabayad po tayo ng what we call commitment charges.
Yes, that's why Mr. Sadain was complaining
Yes.
about that when he testified here.
Yeah.
So, did you react vigorously or galit na galit kayo or you didn't even write a letter?
Well, as far as DBM...
I mean, you are not the secretary there, no? So,
Yes.
I'm just asking this, the procedure, what you did with the
No,
ODA.
no, Mr. Chair. I think dapat po ang dyan during the hearing, dapat DPWHs or agencies should have been hard on that hindi dapat nila galawin po yung ating loan
But
or
kayo
ODA.
naman ang management of the government, I think we should have a more assertive role from now on, no? I mean, kayo yung management eh. I mean, they have to be very strict on everything, no?
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
nakikita namin yung flood control, dikit-dikit yung mga project, is the same river, but pinuputol sa how many meters, then iba-ibang budget, iba-ibang... So, I think that should be on the outlook of your new administration. And hopefully, you will deliver for the country.
Yeah, Mr. Chair. I think you have something to say, Secretary.
Yes, Mr. Chair. We notice about the taking out of the ODAs and then transferring it to unprogrammed appropriation, I think 2023. And when we learned about that, but we get to learn about that pag permado na si GAA. So the only thing that we could do is to manage it through how to address yung nawala nga po yung mga loan proceeds as well as the peso counterpart component of the ODAs. Ang ginawa, Mr. Chair, is that for the loan proceeds, kasi these are commitments already and these are proceeds from the loans that we contracted from the lending institutions, we don't wait for the certification. So it's included in the special provisions under the unprogrammed appropriation na pag na-approve yung loan or if it's an ongoing ODA, nire-release na kaagad yung LP, yung loan proceeds niya. But then the problem is that yung peso counterpart, kasi yun yung counterparting natin from us, yun yung inaantay namin ang certification from the BTR for the excess revenue, which leads to talagang delay. In 2023, dahil nangyari yon, we, as part of our PFM reforms, we had parang it's a sort of a workshop seminar together with the lending institutions, the big threes, ADB, World Bank, and JICA, because they were complaining na hindi nga ma-implement yung project, na di-delay na siya. So what we asked them, actually we sought their help na sila na, since hindi namin control, it was done during the legislative yung paglipat sa program appropriation ng OTAs. Kaya we asked actually the help of the big three, ADB, World Bank, and lending institution, and JICA, na mag-represent sa our legislative, sa House, as well as Senate. And then that lead to their audience also with the President na affected siya. That's why there was a very strong advocacy na wag nilang gawin yung ganon kasi affected yung, kumbaga parang double whammy tayo because aside from the projects being delayed, we also pay the commitment charges. Yes, Mr. Chair.
Can I divert from this topic? Regarding the DBM, the GAA, it is district, something like that. One or two volumes, or just 3 volumes. I noticed that it is difficult to understand. Do you make another budget for yourself, like it's classified to congressman, senator, district, region, province, and then the health or police, or do you classify them?
Mr. Chair, we don't have a separate classification or a separate book. But as far as the GA is concerned po, very specific po naman, by agency po yun, naka-line up po siya. And by agency po, makikita po natin. Except that siguro lang, makapal lang siya, voluminous siya. So, but specific po, by about ahensya po, nandun po siya, makikita po natin ang
Yes, by
budget.
agency, but it does not say per congressman or per district.
Ay, hindi po.
Oh.
Kasi
I'm
supposed
just
to be...
suggesting that maybe, being myself a accountant, you should classify so that the audit is easier. Kasi para magulo siya eh. Meron dito, meron doon, meron dito. So maybe you should really reclassify and put them into their proper, categories as to place, agency, or
Okay.
Sana gawin niyo yun kasi you're part of management eh.
Yeah.
Ako mismo, when I see the budget, hindi ko maintindihan eh kasi
Yeah.
3 pages tsaka walang classification, walang index.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Actually po, makikita nyo po sa DPWH po, nakalagay po by district po yan. For halimbawa, for roads and bridges, mayroon pong by district po yan, by region, district. Okay. May nakalagay po dyan. For all of the different kinds of projects po, even sa flood control, ganun din po siya. Sa maintenance, ganun din po siya. May region at may distrito rin po siya.
But we don't know the congressman or the
We don't have
senator.
that one. Kasi if you notice, Mr. Chair, ano po kasi yun eh, we cannot put who is that congressman in that district. We could only know kung ano distrito.
Yes, but we are trying to manage to avoid a congressman from overstepping. So that's why I think you have to analyze it that way because our problem now is the
Kung minsan, some are one-on-one, no?
Ma'am, sorry. It's the DBM that prints the budget. The GAA, ganun. Yung 2 volumes na yun. The NEP. The GAA is...
Program. Yeah.
Yung GAA.
It's Congress po.
Okay. Because I thought you would have the details or an Excel or something supporting that. Wala. Yung GAA na version.
Yes.
But the DBM, for its own management study and analysis, should make it, classified already into amounts like over 1 billion, or amounts in terms of districts, proponent, whether what department, health or agriculture, or farm roads or bridges. Kailangan ma-classify kasi
Yeah.
you have to scrutinize the budget because
Yeah, Mr.
you're
Chair.
managing the entire government.
With that, the one that you want to have, Mr. Chair, are the disaggregation of the budget. In the nakaakibat po kasi ng ating NEP ay yung tinatawag na BESF, yung Budget of Expenditures and Sources of Financing. Nandun po yung disaggregation po. You can see po by region, may regionalized budget po tayo doon. Okay? Mayroon din po tayong doon, yung foreign assisted projects, may listing po tayo din doon. Tapos kung ano yung mga expenditure classification in terms of how much is PS, MOE, capital outlays, and other details of the budget, the dimension of the budget. So mayroon po tayong ganun, Mr. Chair.
But there's no mention of any legislator.
Yes po.
Yeah, I think it should be done.
I just don't know if
so there's
the Congress-
transparency and there is accountability.
Oh, yeah.
Di ba? Kailangan ma-accountability na if your name is there, you'll be afraid to propose if your name will be put in the DBM
Okay.
budget, di ba?
Okay, I think our Undersecretary for
Yes, I think
Legal.
she's agreeing with me. Bago na siya.
Paalisin ako ni Mr. Chair. Sir, sorry. What we are looking at po kasi sa NEP, the President's budget is the Executive's budget. So supposedly, for example, in the regular course of things, merong naglabi na isang kongresista na talagang kailangan po nila ng project sa kanila, maglalabi siya kay DPWH, for example. So if DPWH, after evaluation, sees the merit of the request, isasama niya po yan sa kanyang budget proposal. From there, it loses, meaning the project loses the identity of a certain proponent in terms of budget prep
That
po
should not
yun.
be done already. That should
Opo.
they should include the name already.
But-
at this point in time, with this 800 billion lost funds, I think we should open our eyes to changing what is before.
Yes, Mr. Chairperson. Ang isang concern lang po natin kasi is the general outlook is that when you present your budget, you're talking about a congressional district or a legislative district, not a particular legislator. But I see your point, sir. Parang mag-cross din siya doon sa discussion nyo po ng Supreme Court before on the PDAF. Ang nangyari lang sa PDAF noon after the enactment of the GAA. Although some quarters are saying you can do that if legitimate during budget preparation because the job naman po ng legislators are to actually also see to it na may projects na nakakarating sa kanila. So ganun po, hindi po nila kinakabit sa legislator yung budget precisely because it's the president's budget. Ang nakikita, ako lang po personally, ang downside po doon kasi parang I get also the point na you'll be accountable kung ikaw nagpalagay kasi nakapangalan ka. But the other one is you might feel also entitled na every time meron na ako dapat. But lumalabas po parang may ganun naman talagang
Kasi-
nangyayari.
Because if the name is there,
Opo.
hindi magiging ghost project yun. May hiya sila, i-ghost project yung their name is part of the budget. Di ba?
Mr. Chairperson, I think yung isang angle doon would be what happens during legislation. Kasi yun yung merong insertion. Before the NEP po yun. Meaning yung before the NEP, that's part of the agency proposal. Yung during legislation na po, yun yung sinasabi nga po nila ngayon, hopefully, we're hopeful na we can be able to trace who the proponent
Yeah.
is. Pero hindi lang po talaga
That's the
nilalagay sa
ICI
GAA.
recommendation to them. We
Oo
have
nga po,
recommended
yes.
that
You
already.
mentioned that, sir. So I think
Yeah.
they are already implementing.
I hope
Mr.
so.
Chair.
That's why I asked if they're implementing my suggestion.
Just wanted to say that I don't see any issue with putting the name of the person who even asked for the amendment in the NEP. Because at the end of the day, that can also be an indication that that person is really thinking about how to even improve the NEP, di ba? And you only do that when there is merit to the project. So I don't think it's going to be a situation where expected na every year bibigyan siya, because everything needs to be supported by merit.
Yes, Madam Commissioner. Yung sa NEP po, after the submission by the President, yun na po yung merong mga sa congressional deliberations. But being part of the budget proposal of the agency na, yun yung before the NEP. So ang nagsasubmit na po, for example, is the DPWH
Agency.
Secretary na inadapt na niya na ito kailangan ng distrito because the mayor, for example, the mayor represented na kailangan namin, the congressperson.
But what's wrong with identifying the mayor as the one who proposed that?
Yung maybe siguro pag mayor, at least hindi siya kasama doon sa legislation. Kaya lang po, kung lahat, yun lang po, medyo, this is a very,
Is there a
pilosopong
legal,
sagot.
is there a
Mahirap pong
legal
ilagay.
issue?
Legal on the mayor, yung local executives, baka hindi po, but more of local chief executives, more of yung administrative kasi ilalagay mo lahat ng nag-request sa inyo, for example, your DPWH. Yung sa legislators, well, hindi pa po tested, but we're just saying na yung sa PDAF kasi parang ganon, wag niyong sabihin na sa parang we don't want them to participate post-enactment.
So you're talking about segregation of duties? Ganun?
Yes po. Yun yung sinabi nila actually. Budget preparation is the domain of the executive, then legislature, and then judiciary po.
But I think they're changing already. Regarding being part of management, you're managing the entire government. Do you have a fraud department that looks into budgetary fraud? O wala kayong ganun? Wala pa?
Wala po. We don't have that body.
I think you should have a financial fraud department so that at least you're the one managing the entire Philippines as the management. I think meron na rin dapat na people looking into these things like to flood control. Maybe if you had a fraud department, baka nasilip na over na yung mga flood control projects sa Bulacan.
Mr. Chair, while we understand that there's a need for us to have that fraud partner division, but I guess it will fall also from the COA's function also to look into the yung validity at the same time na yung projects are existing and at the same time being implemented accordingly.
No, because the COA is post-audit.
Yeah.
I think your fraud can go to pre-audit.
But
At the start of the project, they can double check. Like yung mga overlapping. Sometimes there are projects that are started this year, paid for, then after 3 years is the same project again. So nagiging double cost projects siya.
Mr. Chair, ako, I would like to subscribe to that na dapat may pre-audit siya. Ibalik na lang natin sa COA, Mr. Chair, yung pre-audit specifically for our infrastructure rather than create another department or division. Well, kami, the implementation.
I think the
so yun po
post-audit
siguro.
is mentioned in the Constitution.
Yung,
Nakalagay doon post-audit.
Sa charter.
Yeah. So we cannot, that's why you as management should have a pre-audit because COA is just post-audit, you know. Yun ang reality of the COA. That's under the Constitution.
Hindi ba each department,
Has
like for
internal
example,
audit.
DPWH has its own internal audit.
Internal audit.
That's where I'm going to,
So why don't you
Mr.
take
Camille.
over all the internal audit and house it under DBM?
Tsaka may compliance yan, di ba? Internal audit is basically compliance.
Self-auditing naman.
And I think, sir, also, since you are management, no, Department DBM, management, I think if there's something wrong in the allegedly enrolled bill, dapat you should already speak out, you know, about what you feel is not correct in that enrolled bill, you know. Yeah. Because you are management, and the content depends on your wise management of our funds and our budget. No?
Yes, Mr. Chair. As far as yung sa GA po naman natin, we have still a process, but it's a short process wherein we issue what we call the veto message naman. Doon lang po.
Ito lang.
Doon sa, as far as when we see the difference between the NEP and the GA, doon lang po tayo pumapasok yung ano po. We recommend what should be vetoed, but this is in coordination with the agencies, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Janet, please have some sort
Janet again.
I may add, Mr. Chairperson, we actually subscribe po sa kaninang statement that if the heads of the agencies can be able to monitor yung paglakad ng budget nila from proposal down the line po sa legislation, at least po pag malapit na yung pag-submit ng enrolled bill or at any point na makita nilang medyo merong, oops, masasabihan na po kami. Sometimes that happens, but most of the time hindi. Ang nagigipong constraint sa amin sa DBM would be once the enrolled bill is submitted to the President, one of the functions of the DBM is to look into it and give our initial evaluation para sa Presidente to assist the President. And the President only has 30 days para sa veto na yon. Sa dami po ng i-check namin from the time we received the enrolled bill, talagang pressed for time po kami. That's the explanation na pressed for time po lahat. Particularly for 2025, we also confirm na yung instruction was, kasi nga po lumabas na yung mga balita na, oops, may insertion. But true to the process during the budget, during the veto season ang tawag namin dyan, in-instruct po ang DPWH to make recommendation on which items are to be vetoed. So yung 27 came from, as mentioned by Sec Mina, it came from DPWH.
Secretary Toledo, no? Sir, you have been there 38 years, no? Would you have an idea of how this flood control scandal became big and your idea when it started? If you have an idea or inkling, kasi you've been there 38 years.
Mr. Chair, to answer you truthfully and directly, we just note of these flood control issues and problem. Ito pong this year lang po when it came out, coming from the President also when he announced it. So yun lang po. Because as I mentioned to you, parang kami po will rely on the reports submitted by the agencies, the departments and agencies, which also endorsed by the secretary, the head of the agency, endorsed it to us, all that kind of reports in terms of physical and in terms of the financial reports that they have submitted to us.
No, now that it's here now, what do you think happened? You said you didn't know, but analyzing now, what happened if you think?
Okay, I think there is lapses in terms of one is the monitoring of the projects, well, in terms of the physical one, because siyempre nakita natin, all the reports submitted to us ay tapos na, and even the financial, pwede nang bayaran,
Tsaka
and
bayad
yet
na,
wala
no?
pa. Oo. Yun po, that is there's a lapse in terms of monitoring and evaluation of the projects, and also the accountability of the agency, of the people in the, for in this case, is the sa agencies, which is kulang yung internal control siguro on the part of the agency. So yun po yung mga lapses na nakita namin as far as what happened here as far as the flood control issue is concerned.
I see.
But moving forward, Mr. Chair, just want to say that given this po, nakita naman po namin na may mga kailangan nating improve na dapat gawin in terms of management. Not only in the part of the DBM, but I guess this will also mangyayari po sa mga departamento. One, right now as far as DBM is concerned, we started already what we call the agency performance review, which we're doing it in semi-annually, so that monitor namin yon at the middle of the year, makita namin po yung kung ano yung mga hindi gumagalaw na proyekto at kung ano yung mga fast-moving na projects. That's the second, one. The mid-year, and then the year-end po, kung talagang natapos ba yung project. So, we call that the agency performance
That's
review.
physical.
Physical, yes. Both po. Physical and financial. Second
No,
po,
physical
yes.
inspection.
Yes. Second po is yung, in terms of payment po, management, we already included in our guidelines circular as to the issuance of the undertaking, which is the National Budget Circular, wherein this is the guidelines on the release of funds for every year. Every year po, mayroon kami releases po dyan. So we include that already as one of the undertakings to be done by the department and agencies or the head of agencies. Okay, this will be notarized as mentioned. And then the third, ito na po, we are also using already leveraging technology wherein we have this what we call the Project Dime, the Digital Information Monitoring and Evaluation. So in this case po, with the use of technology through drones and satellite, we can now monitor these projects. So maiwasan na po natin yung ghost projects because ang monitoring po dito ay from the very start, before the start, during and in after. And one good thing about this project time, Mr. Chair, is the citizens' participation. Kasi itong project time po, the citizens can participate dito na makikita nila yung project. They can take a picture of that project and they can upload in that portal, the project time. So yun po ang kagandahan dito na ginagawa na po na. And we have already, pangalan ito, nag-ano na po kami with the DPWH, tawag doon. Partner with DPWH po as far as this is concerned.
So things are changing now.
Yes,
for
Mr.
the
Chair.
better.
Because of this what happened, we really have to have reforms to really improve our, in the utilization of funds.
Well, on September 22, a week after we were created, we wrote a letter to President Marcos that all checks should be copy furnished to BIR.
Checks.
Yes, we wrote this letter, so hopefully you can take part of that as part of your reforms. We're supposed to see the BIR tomorrow because there's a new one. But under our letter dated September 22, we have recommended that all checks issued by the DPWs or any other should be copy furnished the BIR. Maybe it should be also mandatory on your part to make sure that your agencies, when they release the budget, copy is given to the BIR.
Checks to the contractors.
Checks to the contractor or to any
Or
other payers.
transfers
Yes.
siguro,
Okay.
if it's electronic.
Yeah, Mr. Chair. Right now po, we have this what we call the MDS, modified disbursement system that we are following in terms of our releases of cash. Under that system po, mayroon po tayong tinatawag na ADA, okay, advice to debit the account, which means transferring from one account to the direct account of the contractor. But we think it's valid and certified by the agency na pwede na siyang bayaran. So, right now po, naiwasan na po natin yung ngayong pag-issue ng cheque. Rather, it's through the debiting of account and direct
So,
really
in other,
credit to the
words,
contractor.
instead of a check, that piece of the communication should be relayed to the BIR.
Okay.
Kasi, so that there's more income for the government if the BIR knows what checks are issued, no?
Okay, Mr. Chair. Yes, probably we can coordinate with our DIR and also the Privacy Data Privacy Act if that is possible.
Because that's a check payment. There's no right to be confidential about it. That's my money. I'm giving it to my partner, the BIR. So there's no problem on that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, Mr. Chair, we can coordinate that with our BIR. Pakitota lang.
By the way, as to satellite, I think we should use the NAMRIA. Because the NAMRIA can look at pictures 10 years ago and 6 years ago to today. So if the project is 10 years ago, they can be able to get a picture
Right.
of the project 10 years ago.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, as far as the use of technology, geotagging po, we have what we call the convergence of as far as using together with the ICT, PS, PILSA, UP,
NAMRIA.
to all of po, kasama po ang DBM,
That's very good.
converge na po para lang po, isa na lang po yung ginagamit
That's
natin
very
ng
good.
technology. Kasi right now po, iba-iba pong ginagamit ng bawat
Yes,
ahensya. So that we can also minimize the cost of that. Para, meron na po, a meeting of these projects to really come up with a convergence effort program as far as the monitoring of programs and projects through the use of technology, geotagging po. So, together with the ICT po.
What about flood control projects? I think when any flood control project or project is recommended, it should be part of the DPWH national program. Sometimes they deviate from the program.
Yeah.
They make their own program. So yung ating money is not properly
Yeah.
in good use because nahihiwalay.
Yeah.
So sana, when you analyze your budget, all expenditures must be part of a flood control project for the entire country
Yeah, yeah.
or a farm to market tool for the entire country. Hindi yung pipiliin ng kung sino man siya, lalagay doon, hindi naman siya no relevance to your national project po.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I agree with you. As far as roads is concerned, lalo sa farm to market road, it should be connected to a network. Okay, road network. Kasama po dapat, naka-align po siya doon. Kasi kung hindi naka-align niya, parang what will happen din baka hindi rin makarating yung na food or rather yung mga agriculture products doon sa dapat puntahan. Second po, doon sa as far as flood control, I agree. I think I heard from Sec Babes doon that should be aligned with the
National.
river basin, the master plan. Okay. So we agree with that, Mr. Chair. As a matter of fact, even our DepDep, the DepDep, also looking at that in terms of approving programs and projects for flood control specifically. That should be aligned with the river
Do you
basin.
also work with the ECC, the ANR? Meron din kayo.
Yes, Mr.
Because
Chair.
from what pictures we have been shown, the river is this wide and they put the project in the middle. destroying the river, destroying the water, destroying
Yeah, yeah.
the life of the river. Just to make a project para mabilis, hindi sila maghuhukay dito, kundi sa gitna na ilalagay.
Yeah.
So it's a devastation of our
Yeah.
environment and also the fish and the water. So I guess there must be also strict compliance with ECC. Kasi ating pinag-usapan mga tubig eh.
Yes, Mr. Chair, totally agree with you, Mr. Chair. As a matter of fact, that is also presented during one of the meetings that we had as far as the Infracom meeting that it should align po doon sa ginagawa po ng DNR in terms of yung sa mga projects in terms sa flood control, one of which is the flood control. So, tama po kayo, Mr. Chair. Actually, kasama po ang DNR po dito sa pag-determine ng mga projects that should be identified through the use of technology po.
Kasi baka matay yung mga isda, tsaka yung mga palaka, yung mga insects, mamamatay. Sige
Yes po.
I'm just going through the questions that we prepared. I'm always the last to ask because I finish all the unanswered questions. There are other questions, but I think the way you have conducted yourself and the way you're preparing this office, I think we're looking forward to a good government under your direction and leadership. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chairperson, for that kind words. And yes, truly, Mr. Chair, right now po, together with our team here, we're looking at how to really improve not just only the budget preparation, but also at the execution side of the budget. So rest assured po that as far as DBM is concerned, we want that our processes and even our execution of the budget will really be accorded according to what are the rules and regulations, and at the same time, ma-achieve natin yung ating goal in terms of the budget should be implemented efficiently and effectively.
Sir, last, I forgot. Also on program.
Yes, Mr. Chair. As a matter of fact, yun po yung isang discussion din po sa Senate that they are hard on baka wala nang unprogrammed appropriations for next year and for the following years. Opo, konti na lang po. Those are yung mga necessary lang. Just for example, mga ODA loans siguro na yung mga hindi na isama sa NEP pero mayroon na loan na po at kailangan na implement, yun lang po siguro yun. Yeah. Wala na rin po yung tinatawag na source of yung SIPAG, yung social and infrastructure programs, activities. Yung line item po na yon, na doon naka-charge po yung pinagkuhanan ng flood control. So wala na po yon.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you all the undersecretaries for coming.
Thank you very much. Thank you po.